For this project, we decided to do an author study on Jacqueline Woodson. Woodson is an American author who writes books and novels for both young adults and children. Woodson began her journey into literature and writing after being chosen to become the literary editor for a magazine when she was in the 5th grade. She became sold on becoming a writer after reading texts like Ruby by Rosa Guy and The Bluest Eyes by Toni Morrison, which allowed her to see minorities being portrayed positively as the main character. This encouraged her to begin writing her own books that incorporated characters from different racial, ethnic, and social backgrounds. This is one of the main reasons why we decided to do Jacqueline Woodson as the focus of our author study. We chose her because we believe she does an excellent job of incorporating diversity into her stories. Her books expose students to different cultures and allows them to better understand diversity. Another reason why we decided to use Jacqueline Woodson as our focus was because she does a great job of incorporating different family structures into her stories. Her books allow students to see the different types of family structures and allows readers to truly explore their own family structure.
For the author study of Jacqueline Woodson, we chose a text set of 7 books written by Woodson. These books range from picture books to chapter books. For each of the books read, we wanted to give students the opportunity to do a writer's workshop so they could reflect on what was talked about during the lesson. The first book that was chosen to be read to students is Each Kindness, which is a book that talks about the importance of being kind and friendly to everyone. This book would be used to get students to think about the characters and their feelings. The second book we chose is This is the Road. This book is one where we will start to focus on Woodson's style of writing and how, for example, in this book especially, she uses descriptive words and phrases to appeal to readers. The next book, which we will read on day 3, is Sweet, Sweet Memory. This book deals with a young girl's emotions after losing her grandfather. This book begins to hit on one of the big themes we focus on for our student project, family. Next is Brown Girl Dreaming, which will span over the course of 2 days. This book is about Jacqueline Woodson and her childhood, which she writes through the use of free verse. Here we will discuss more about Woodson's style of writing and compare the books we have already read. The Other Side is a book that explores segregation during the Civil Rights era. It goes along and reiterates the friendship family aspect that we will focus on for part of the student project. Next is Showway, a personal favorite of mine, which deals with Woodson's family history. It explores how quilts, or showays, were passed down over 7 generations of girls and women. This book is one that not only incorporates the diversity theme, but also the family theme, and has a huge part in the student project that students will be doing at the end, which deals with writing their own stories about heritage. Last but certainly not least is Locomotion, which we would cover over the span of 2 days. This book is about Lonnie C. Motion, who expresses his emotion through poetry and through this poetry explains his family history. We want to especially use this book to contrast and compare with Brown Girl Dreaming, both dealing with different poetry styles. The activities that we chose for students to do throughout the mini lessons and for the student project are ones we thought would most benefit students during grades 2 through 4. A lot of what takes place in 2nd through 4th grade reading and writing deals with the ability to recall what happened in a text, sometimes by using specific events, determining the meaning of words and phrases, and thus creating your own narratives based on what you have read and discovered through the text. We wanted to make sure we covered all of these in the mini lessons and thus wanted to tie the mini lessons into creating the student project. For most of the mini lessons, they will be where the students are in small groups and are reading the chosen book for that specific day together. Students will work in their groups and with the assistance of the teacher will discuss what specifically the text is talking about. For example, on day 3, when students are reading Sweet, Sweet Memory, they will be focusing on the raw emotion the main character expresses when talking about the loss of her grandfather. Here we want students to be able to specifically cite and use evidence from the text to support their thoughts about the character's emotions. Other activities include things such as whole group discussions, writer's workshop, discussion of compare and contrast, and finally, the big student project, where we have students tie in the multiple themes of Woodson's work, which is using a family tree and research done about their families to write about a heritage their family may have, much like in Showway. One of the biggest things we want our students to take away from this author study is just that reading can be fun. We want students to see how so much can be gained and learned about just from reading multiple books about one author. We hope students are excited and in the future will want to read many more books by many other authors.